says that, for the people at home who are watching, what does that mean? How will that translate?
Well, Missouri, first of all, they've had 8 different guys be their leading scorer this year, so you can't focus in on one. We've talked about Caleb Grill and Tamar Bates, but a bunch of other dudes, man, can go for 20 or 25. And the system that they play, very disruptive defense, Ravi, on that end of the floor. And offensively, they are hyper-aggressive. They come in making about 10 threes a game at 38%. The number 8 team in the country scoring 84 points a game.
Florida is wearing white, Missouri in black. Josh Gray will jump center against Ruben Chignoli. Underway, and the Gators will control. Keep an eye on 21, Alex Condon. He's been playing the best basketball of his career for the Gators. He posts down low right off the bat. Junior will pull up 2, no good, and the rebound out of bounds, and it will go to Missouri.
Well, Ravi, I'm told Mark Mitchell not playing tonight was a coach's decision and not Mitchell's. He received x-rays on his right knee. There was no structural damage. He fully participated in their walkthrough, moved well in pregame warmups, and wanted to play, but they're holding him out for the rest of the week as a precaution to make sure he's ready for the NCAA tournament.
The official, Terry Oglesby, Molly, came in, changed the call. It stays with Florida.
Ravi, that's a big hit to Missouri. That's the second leading scorer. And he also draws about 7 fouls per 40 minutes. Mark Mitchell, that's a big loss for Missouri right now.
That's a good start. 3 ball falls for Will Richard. The Missouri lineup without Mark Mitchell now. They will rely on Trent Pierce. He's a sophomore. He's 6'10", 220. And he was the guy that was guarding Condon the first trip down. That ball was knocked away from Gray, and then he got his arms wrapped around the head of Clayton Jr. They're going to get the foul on Gray.
Really alert defense by Walter Clayton Jr. And this Clayton Jr. kid can score as good as any guard in the country, but alert defense right there. Gray just got lazy with the ball.
Oh boy, a face rake.
Didn't protect it. Yeah, the face rake against Walter Clayton Jr. And they may look at this. I mean, we see it all the time. Anytime there's contact, that head and neck area.
I thought you were going to say we see the reviews all the time. But
well, we see a lot of those too.
Yeah,
a lot of reviews.
Common foul on the court.
Anytime there's a face rake, it's going to be looked at unless it's the WWE. The famous move back in the day of Saturday morning wrestling was the face rake.
Well, you can't judge intent, but right there, I mean, that's he's keeping Walter Clayton Jr. from pursuing the ball, and I think that's going to be upgraded to an F1. Again, you can't judge intent, but right there, that's clearly a grab and a hold at the neck and face area. And that's excessive, unnecessary, I believe. Obviously looked maybe a little more severe in slow motion.
I think generally anytime the officials then get together and they go over to talk to the benches, they will agree with what you said.
The common foul's been upgraded to a flagrant 1.
Yeah.
Florida #1 will shoot 2 shots. Florida ball.
That is the right call. And nothing intentional, I don't believe, by Josh Gray. He was just trying to hold Walter Clayton Jr. off and pursue that basketball. But you see Walter Clayton Jr. still trying to shake off the effects of the hit.
This is a veteran backcourt. They're gonna lose their 3 guys in the backcourt, including this guy, Walter Clayton Jr., the senior, who's just been outstanding. So is Will Richard and Elijah Martin, who transferred from Florida Atlantic. He's a graduate student. Clayton 19-9 in a road win against Auburn. He's come up huge in the biggest games. He went for 22-8 against Alabama on the road as well.
And Ravi, he's already been named a first-team All-American by some publications. The first time in the history of Florida basketball, the Gators have a first-team All-American. Joe Kim Noah, Al Horford, those guys didn't do it, and he has.
They will like to push the pace, as we just saw there with Walter Clayton Jr. And they get a 5-0 lead as you take a look at their starting 5. Condon backed up by Micah Handlockton, who literally a year ago had that terrible ankle injury on this floor. Another 3 falls, and that's 2 for Will Richard. This is like the Kentucky start from last night. A drive and a pass to Jimmy Dykes. Turnover, all Gators right now.
Well, it's all Florida so far in this game. Those guards are so good, and they're a hard scout because they can do a little bit of everything. And when Will Richard is a fearless shooter, he will take some shots you think, is that in rhythm? But boy, he sure makes them at a high clip. That step back ability by Will Richard, Walter Clayton Jr., Aberdeen, they all have it in the guard play for this team in white.
Caleb Grill comes into the game for the first time. That's the guy they said they got to keep their eyes on. Richard feeling it right now. Knocking down another. He's got 8, and Caleb Grill is hobbling right now, which is a nightmare scenario for Missouri. Dennis Gates wants to talk about it. It's a perfect 10 as far as the start for the Gators.
Forget about how big Will Richard is. He's all up 6'5", and as this play develops, Will Richard's going to walk his man in. Hold it right there, guys. That screen right there is an SEC screen, and Will Richard just comes right off of it. Very patient are these guards for Florida. They don't get sped up, Ravi, working off the screens. And he can make threes, he can make long twos, but that pin down action, Tennessee has a great job of doing it as well. It is tough to cover.
Perkins, the ball handler, had a good game last night for them. They've taken 4 shots, made 3, and Richard had 12 in the first meeting. He's got 8 points already tonight. Bates went up, had it halfway down, and it came out. Chinyelu handled the basketball. He stepped.
Well, that's what Missouri will do too. They try to speed you up with their defense. And they scramble the game, but this is what you have to do against Florida. I know you got your shot blocked if you're Tamar Bates, but you've got to continue, man, to get downhill. The rim looks different in the SEC when you bring the ball to the rim. Florida size will just eat you up.
Hayden Shaw rolls to the hoop. They don't get it to him. Corner 3. That's no good. Bates battles Clayton Jr. And a loose ball out of bounds off Florida. Cold shooting to start right now for Missouri. But they got a whole handful of guys that can shoot it from the other side, including Grill, Bates, Hayden Shaw. We saw Cruz come in last night and knock down a couple as well. They got to get the lid off the basket right now.
Will is the guy they look for on these out-of-bounds unders. A good job by Condon to switch out.
They're switching everything on. Caleb Grill is Clayton there with 5 on the shot clock. Condon comes out to pick up Bates. Another one that's missed and a push. And we'll keep it here. It's going to be against Florida.
Ravi, when your 4 and 5 guy can switch out and take on a good guard and stay in front of him, that's why Todd Golden brings in the #9 defense in the country. We don't talk enough about how good they are on this end of the floor, but you're getting a shot of it right now with those bigs switching out and those Missouri guards.
Gators foul on Will Richard. Clayton trying to blow that screen up as Perkins has it. There's a dunk. Wow, out of nowhere. And they get a whistle and a foul. Trent Pierce flew in and landed that plane.
As aggressive as Florida is, you have to burn that off. That pressure off with some back cuts and some hard drives. Just a lot of white jerseys around the ball, and just a little bit of an opening for Pierce, who's a 6'10" guard. A very skilled kid, man, but a tight pocket pass from Perkins. There wasn't a lot of room. And Pierce says, we are no longer being shut out in this game.
No, they get their first 2. He missed the free throw. What a great free throw shooting team. To 72%. But they're on the board, so we'll see if they've now absorbed the first blow and can get themselves back into this thing. Condon, terrific handle. And Martin's 3 finds the bottom. They are just a red-hot shooting team right now. 3 of 3 from deep.
And the shot fake by Martin, the sidestep. Physical guards by Florida.
Into the paint, missed a bunny. Shaw. And they're going to get the foul against Missouri. And it's going to be called on number 11. That's Trent Pierce.
Elijah Martin, he actually played the 4 a lot of minutes at Florida Atlantic. He's 6'2", but he is rugged, but a beautiful stroke as well. And just a tough cover. Clayton, Martin, Will Richard, Aberdeen. As good of a guard 4 or 5 players that you'll see in the country on one team.
The most dangerous aspect of the Gators is their depth and the quality of it. Backdoor move, Martin spins in there, lost the ball. It's recovered by Chinyelu, and 2 more.
Florida is carving up that Missouri defense to start this game.
Down low, Perkins takes it into traffic, throws it up and in. Florida Gators 5 of 6 from the floor to start. There's a first turnover for Florida. And a run out for Grill. Good pass that time by Grill. He finds Pierce. All of a sudden, they got 6 quick ones.
Well, Ravi, clearly Missouri has to score in transition in this game. They do not want to go against that big, physical, long, half-court defense of Florida.
Out to double Clayton. Backdoor move again. Martin met at the rim. There's hustle by Missouri. It's going to be a tie-up, and the arrow goes to Missouri. A little bit better defense, Jimmy, the last couple of trips down for Missouri.
Yeah, Florida playing with an edge. Again, they're in the fight right now to hang in there as a 1 seed in that NCAA tournament. And the ball movement of Florida has been good all year long. All 5 guys can handle, pass it, reverse it. Martin with a stick 3, and Gators up early 15-6.
And you mentioned he missed most of the regular season. He said he got rid of that redshirt year and forwent it because he believes this year's team has a legit chance to win a championship. He wants to be a part of this special run. He stressed also that the team stuck by him through rehab, wanted to return the loyalty and do whatever he could to help.
No, he's doing a lot. He is a terrific player. There's a foul underneath. And one more other thought on Handlocker, Jimmy. I mean, you were here. The building went from being crazy loud to so quiet. The trainer and strength coach, Victor Lopez, said, I could hear his mom crying.
Yeah, I remember it very well. And I don't think Florida ever recovered in that game because the injury occurred so early, but so good to see this hand-locking kid right there on the left of the screen back and on the floor. He gets 1 rebound every 3 minutes right now. Not scoring a lot, but Todd Golden said he is so easy to play with. The ball doesn't stick. He's a great defensive talker, cleans up the glass. He's right. He's joining a team that has a chance to win the entire thing, not only in Nashville, but at that Final Four as well.
15 rebounds per 40 minutes. He also has indicated he wants to thank a lot of the people that helped him during that awful time last year. He's huge, too. He's 7'1", 255 as they've gone to their bench. Brought on Aberdeen, who hits his first shot. And the 2 guys up front, Handlocken and Hauk.
Talking about a very aggressive kid off the bench, scoring-wise, is Aberdeen. 6'5", and he found his groove last year in this SEC tournament, kind of jumped out in front of everybody. 20 points against A&M.
An awful lot of dribbling, but it ended up in a layup for Perkins. Cut into the 10-point lead. Good defense. He's definitely turned the screws up a little bit there. Aberdeen is a junior, Jimmy. They're going to get some of these backcourt players back.
Well, Aberdeen's a kid that close to 2,000 players last year, Ravi, went into the portal. He was not one of them. He said, Coach, you don't have to promise me minutes. You don't have to promise me starts. I'm staying right here. I'm going to work my way onto the floor. And, man, he is dynamic coming off that bench for a deep Florida team.
Jacob Cruz into the game, good shooter as they try to find Grill, who's being shadowed now very effectively by Will Richard. Good teams identify what killed him in the first game. It's been Grill. They've identified him and all the other shooters as Cruz got smothered on a shot clock violation.
Well, they took away everything Missouri was trying to do on that possession. Dennis Gates was working Caleb Grill off of a couple of screen, rescreen, and Florida would have nothing to do with it. Chasing Grill all over the place, face guarding, putting pressure. Missouri not able to get by that pressure and get stuck on the perimeter.
As Jim mentioned it too, the combination of offense and defense, they're top 10 nationally. The only 2 other programs that can say the same, Duke and Houston. Long 3, Clinton Jr. And this team is 7 of 9 from the floor.
Missouri changes it up. They show zone, but they're not aggressive with it. And Walter Clayton just literally stands there and jumps up and sticks it.
The Florida Gator buzzsaw to start this thing. They've taken 4 threes. They've hit them all. Look at where the offense is stuck, starting at about 10 seconds. No space for Brill. He fires one off the back iron. Gray there, and he'll kick it back to Cruz. They're going to get Aberdeen.
Ravi, anything against Florida that's passive will not work. Now, that is a passive zone. They're just trying to get organized. It's, you know, the first possession they played with it, but I mean, you cannot dare Walter Clayton Jr. to shoot it from the logo. I mean, you can, but he's going to stick it at a high rate.
Clayton Jr.'s got 5. He's got 6 games this year with 25 or more and a career-high 33 against Kentucky. Pierce sees the baseline, goes reverse, and Lockton was there to deny. Pierce fights for it and throws it down. And check that. Cruz was the guy that ripped it and flushed it. Florida's gone even deeper now. Urban Klapsar is in. He is a sophomore out of Slovenia. And we get a foul and a whistle.
Well, it's just the 3rd foul, though, on Missouri. I talked about it yesterday. Missouri is 17-0 when the opponents shoot fewer than 22 free throws in the game. And as aggressive as they can become, they can't cross that line where fouling negates effort. And so far, only 3 in this first half. A pretty good job.
They're going that zone again. Helps the guy in the middle, and he gets it at the free throw line, then penetrates and kicks. Cladwell's a very good shooter. Hout's got 7 on the clock. A drive, and he got pushed by Pierce.
But the versatility of Hout on that one possession. He's the inside facilitator against the zone. And once he kicks it out, he sprints out to the perimeter and then drives the gap. What a tough cover.
Pierce picks up his 2nd. Hauk and Condon have become very, very close friends. They've done some fishing together, roommates together. And man, has this guy come a long way in a short period of time. Tuesday night right here, the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Our SEC Inside will get you an all-access pass to this SEC men's basketball tournament. That's going to be at 7 Eastern, 6 Central. You're going to see some things that you've never seen before. They're saving it for the show. You'll hear from the players and the coaches. A real behind-the-scenes look Tuesday night on the SEC Network. As Hauk knocks down both of his free throws, he is an 81% free throw shooter.
I don't know all the guys in college basketball that room together. I think it'd be hard to find 2 roommates that are tougher than Condon and Hauk, right?
Robinson played with a couple of early fouls. Another turnover from Missouri. Clayton lets left open, and that's another 3. That's too much of a window for Walter Clayton. They are 5 of 5 from three-point land. And Jimmy, they are on fire tonight.
The ball is moving much faster than Missouri's defense is moving.
How about a block from Hanlockton, his 2nd? And man, every big play has to feel so good for Micah Hanlockton based on what happened last year. Line drive, no. Gray with a rip.
But still, Florida 1.8 points per possession so far in this game. That is a crazy high number.
Bates absorbs the contact and gets it to go. And here comes Florida. Clayton Jr. Oh, what a move! Oh, hokey dokey to the rack.
That is what a first-team All-American looks like. I mean, he just put Missouri on skates all by himself. Very aggressive with the initial push. But he put the brakes on and backpedaled, and Missouri relaxed just for a second. I mean, he brings this thing with speed, and Missouri thinks, okay, we stopped the ball. No, you did not. And just a blow-by from Clayton past Gray. Chomp, chomp. Walter Clayton leads him with 10 points early.
In 6 attempts.
Well, and the other thing, Missouri's got to be strong with the ball. They have 4 turnovers, and Florida has scored every time off those Missouri turnovers. Florida just given no airspace at all, taking away the 3s from Missouri. Look how much pressure, Ravi. They're pushing that offense out.
They sure are. Warwick and Robinson, the backcourt right now for Missouri. And here we go again. 5 seconds, 30 feet away from the basket. Chinyelu in the corner. That is the three. That drops. They gave a little bit too much space. And the shot is knocked in by Marquez Warwick.
That was on Aberdeen. Just not urgent at all with the closeout.
Here's a loose ball and a turnover. Here's Warwick again against Aberdeen. And a whistle. Boy, Florida thought that was clean defense and a turnover, but no. Foul against Missouri.
Florida has played so hard defensively, but Aberdeen just a little bit lazy. The urgency you have to play with right now, he just doesn't close out to the shooter. I'm talking about right there. That's just not closing out and not clamping down on the airspace. You cannot short close out shooters from Missouri like Aberdeen just did.
Aberdeen's going to come out of the game. Clayton Jr. is going to come back in. Denzel Aberdeen has picked up his 3rd foul very quickly. That's a missed freebie. Warwick at the free throw line. One of the things the coaches have harped on, Jimmy, is making sure your team is well rested when you come into the NCAA tournament, let alone the conference tournament. Florida is well rested.
Well, we asked Todd Golden today, like, where are you? And he said, man, we are great in that area. We're built to play 3 games in a row. We have great depth. And I think from talking to coaches across the country, getting ready to play 3 or 4 games in a row, you sacrifice preparation a little bit and make sure your gas tank is full in the rest area.
Doesn't seem to have affected the Gators with regards to preparation. There's another deflection out of bounds, and it will stay with the Gators. You can see, though, since the Dennis Gates timeout, they have turned it up a little bit defensively.
Missouri's been called for a lot of fouls the last 2 or 3 weeks. And so far, only 4 in this game is a good sign.
Chinyelu left open. T.O. Barrett, number 5 for Missouri on the floor. As Martin, an aggressive take, and there is one of those fouls, Jim. Foul on 23, Aiden Shaw. Nearly deflected, and Clapshire will launch a 3. Too strong. Look at Condon go up and rip it away. He'll try it again, but he is out of bounds. The ball went in, but his foot was out.
2 different Florida players just lost their discipline with their feet in this left corner beside us. And look at Condon just come flying in, man. There's a grown man rebound in the SEC. You got to get him with 2 hands, not 1 paw, and Condon understands it really well.
Popular teammate as they have. Condon, very funny. And he's the guy that they gather around. Step back 3 in the bottom for Bates. He can do that. Now it's a 7-point game.
Right, it's really clear. Todd Golden wants his guys to pressure the ball so much that Missouri has to drive it, and they've gotten away from it in those last 2 3-point shots by the Tigers.
And Marshall steps into the game and immediately picks up a foul.
If Missouri blows by and gets to the rim, so be it. But if you allow them to get separation and get twisted up and gamble at all, guys like Tamar Bates and Grill will make you pay for that gamble. Missouri, one of the better teams in this league, at going on 8, 9, 10-0 runs.
Again, no Mark Mitchell tonight for Missouri. They bring Peyton Marshall, and they've gone 11 players deep. Missouri basketball. The momentum has shifted right now, and Todd Golden is starting to juggle his lineup. Chinyelu comes out. Hulk will be on the floor with his buddy Condon. That's the 6th turnover against the Gators.
Remember, this is the Missouri team that beat Alabama 110-98. They have 10 wins right now against teams predicted to be in that NCAA tournament. They are no joke.
Now, big body down low, throws it up and in. It's a little too small. Not sure, but it works for him. And then he just got in the grill of Condon and picked up a foul right at half court.
And Marshall is a load, and you're not going to move this kid once he gets around the front of the rim. True freshman. And I think Dennis Gates is talking to his guys in those timeouts about we've got to be tough from the two-point part of the floor and throw it to your big and let him have his way.
Well, he's had his way to 2 quick fouls, did Marshall. As Grill gets set to come in, way off on the free throw, Condon, and they're going to give him another one. It looks like a violation on Missouri with Warwick, so there's a free shot for Condon. Marshall is 7 feet. Load, how would you describe that in just terms of pounds?
Yeah, 7 feet, 300.
300,
yeah.
Okay.
And he's going to get some time tonight because of the injury to Mark Mitchell. Aiden Shaw's already gotten some run as well. Dennis Mitchell is going to go with some bigs that normally are single-digit minute guys. Could get extended time tonight.
Well, they gave Condon the free.
Dennis Gates.
Yes, the free throw, and he made it. One thing about that guy right there, Gates, there is zero panic. Remember, this was a team that did not win a game in conference last year. Didn't win one. Out fouls, it ends up in the hands of T.O. Barrett. That's the pace that Missouri wants to play with. And Bates, difficult to get it over Condon. He was looking for a foul, and he will not get it.
We saw it in the first couple of possessions of the game. The ability of the Florida bigs, Ravi, to level a driver off and stay in front of the basketball. That's a very good job by Condon to keep his body off the driver. And then once Bates leaves the floor, now his length becomes almost impossible for Bates to deal with.
Gators have blocked 4 shots. Caleb Grill is back in. Grill quiet so far tonight, 0 for 1. Barrett all the way to the basket point. He just overshot it. He was right there. Perhaps those tall hands affect that shot. Here's a turnover. Here's Grill. Condon hustles back. He will not get there. Great effort by Grill. It's down to 4. Alley-oop. Martin. Boy, that's how to answer. He found out.
Yeah, within 3 seconds, man, Florida doesn't mess around with that ball.
Bates gets the screen, throws it up, didn't get the call. And battling is Marshall, blocked again by Condon. How keeps it alive? And it's become a frenzied pace. But Hout spins all the way around to find Elijah Martin. Good hands, Barrett. Great effort there to dive to get it to him. Grill wide open. No. Bates will take one. The fans are all standing for each possession. That's how you quiet it down. Another 3. He's got a handful already in this game. Will Richard.
Will Richard loves to run the left side of the floor in transition. And both teams love to play fast. Florida has played a little too fast with turnover problems. And Caleb Grill just with the rip and run and big time athlete as well. But the answer by Martin, look at that, with 4 seconds gone off of the possession. They bring that ball up and Hout finds the finish. And that's the sweet spot for Will Richard with the rise, the release, and the rotation. A pretty good result for a shooter.
Re-aggravating that shoulder injury. And you listen and read what Mark Pope had to say. There seemed to be just real genuine empathy, concern, sadness, and uttering things like, I just hope we can get him back on the floor at some point ever.
Well, this game and the next one is going to be played at a rapid pace. Florida right now averaging 13 seconds per trip. That is an extremely high pace, even for the Gators.
Barrett one-on-one against an unbelievable defender in Martin, and he's forced to throw up there to Barrett, and it finds the bottom, Molly.
Yeah, Ravi, Dennis Gates can feel his team's energy picking up. He told them that in that last timeout, your play in the last minute was a statement. He then held up his hand and said, we are right there. We are so close. He was emphasizing turnovers, doing the little things that don't show up on the stat sheet. Getting hands up to deflect a ball, staying in their gaps, and staying focused on the defensive end.
Yeah, they are heavy on the deflections, Molly. They are so active. When you punch the paint, they punch right back with multiple jerseys. because of that, Ravi, if you're Florida, you've got to drive the ball, play off with 2 feet. If you do, you get some very good spray-out, kick-out 3 opportunities against Missouri.
And there was no question he was going to go into that huddle and say, what we just witnessed there, that 3 minutes of when the ball of yarn fell down the stairs, and we're all trying to collect. Like, we want that,
and
right?
No doubt. He wants controlled chaos. Dennis Gates does. A heck of a coach that, you know, he never flinched last year when they were 0-18, believing in himself and what they're doing. He's not going to flinch, and his kids don't flinch as well, even when they get down early against the #2 team in the country.
He and Terry Oglesby got into a fairly lengthy conversation as Perkins replaces Barrett, who looks like he's ready to step back in. Gray's going to watch out from behind, and they get Martin, who reached. We saw that on the first play of the game when it was Clayton who reached up and knocked it away from Gray. This time it was Martin who came in to try to deflect it. He gets whistled for the foul, but look at him sneaking in from behind.
Well, Missouri runs their offense a lot of times with their big up top, and if you're Florida, you have scouted that thing out, and Todd Golden has given his guards the green light tonight to eat that action up, and they've gotten 1 steal and 1 foul because of it.
Barrett, the freshman guard, is going to do the inbounding. Is 6'4", 200 out of Oklahoma City. He's another one of those Link Academy players. And he didn't play in about half the games. The coach's decision did not play, and he's getting some run tonight.
There's that same action.
And he lost it. Cruz got elbowed in the head by his own player. Fires up a fadeaway, no good, and watch Florida run. Out. He got fouled, and he's going to have a chance for 3. Not a strong foul at all. I think it was Cruz underneath there, and House too strong to do that.
Well, how good and how fast is Florida in transition? That's just a excuse me foul. If you're gonna bring it, bring the wood, and that's a very soft foul, a passive play again. Again, anything passive or soft in this game, it is not going to be rewarded, and that's exactly what Cruz did. Is that in the hole defender?
Thomas Houck off the bench. He's got 6. Once again, they use the big man at the top to start the offense.
Your get-back defense is so important in this game both ways. You cannot have any buddy jobs from one end to the other.
There's another rip and another run. Clayton Jr. Oh, wow! Did he get him? Every player a candidate for the receiving end of an alley-oop and a 9-2 run. We got to get a measurement on the elevation from Clayton Jr. Triple teamed. It'll stay with Missouri.
Walter Clayton Jr. the first team All-American, the first one in Florida basketball history. But again, the rip and runs by Florida, and watch this pass. And you're talking about a 6'2" guard, just got his head up around the rim. And Florida, you can just look long and hard about what team in college basketball is better in transition. It's a very short list. These guys are probably at the top of that list.
Yeah. They and Alabama right there. Kentucky, when they're rolling. Grill way too strong, and a foul. We're going to keep it right here.
Think about Walter Clayton Jr. making the transition this year to a point guard instead of a scoring guard for Todd Golden. He has made that transition really well. Got some minutes at Iona running the point, but more of a scoring guard. Tight handle, tough kid. He's going to be, I think, a really good pro. He's a physical, durable guy.
Gray will shoot the free throw and find the bottom. It is a statement about a program, though, Jimmy, and we know there's a lot of them where the players transfer in, and not only do they get better because of the team they're on, they get better as players.
No doubt. And that's the player development with Todd Golden. Why they were picked high in this league to start with. Good returners back.
Yeah, they're going to get hand locked, and he got that big left foot in there.
Walter Clayton Jr. right into the face of hand locked, and that's That's player-to-player accountability. And if you don't have that in March, you're going to get knocked out sooner than you should.
7-footer Gray, who is at South Carolina, able to get the second one in. So a 3-point there for Missouri. Stolen, and watch out. Gray absolutely lost his footing and threw up an air ball on a layup, which will result in handlocked and tapping it back in.
I'm so impressed with how physical Florida is at the rim. Even Will Richard on the miss, man, just went right into the chest of a big defender.
Robinson, that's a great job by Gray to screen off handlocking. He's still mad at himself about the layup, but he just created an easy one for his teammate. Florida does have 9 turnovers in this game. What a bad athletic effort.
Ravi, what a cut though by Elijah Martin from that offside corner to come flying in, and Clayton just kind of felt where he was as much as saw him.
Out right there, turnover right in front of the Gators bench.
Man, but you talk about turning up pressure. These two teams can do it as well as anybody in this league. And Florida has grown by leaps and bounds last year when they were in here trying to win an SEC tournament title. This is what I'm talking about. Walter Clayton Jr. actually, I think he felt Martin coming as much as saw him. That's guys just being on the same page, played a lot of ball together. Two big-time guards making a big play. They're not even looking for any type of a stop sign at all. They bring that thing with speed and force. And it's just not just one. They don't have to advance past it. They bounce the ball about as fast as you can advance past it.
There's the numbers on the 3-point shooting, 71%. Like, it hasn't come down at all. And that's exactly what Dennis Gates said to Molly. Ball fake, got clipped on the leg, no call. And still 10 seconds as they get it to Clapshot. Now Richard fires. That's too long and too strong. Tell you one thing, for a team shooting 71% though and making all those threes, it's only an 11-point lead.
Yeah.
And now it's 9.
That's on Florida. They never got matched up at all. And you've heard me say it before, a bad matchup is better than no matchup, and Florida just didn't talk it out.
Chinyelu back on the floor. Here's Richard to try again. And again, too strong, and they do a good job boxing out Condon.
Gang rebounding by the team in black is a big deal in this one.
Perkins strong, no. And you always got to be careful after a miss on a run a little too far from Richard to Martin. Turnover number 10 for the Gators.
Missouri has been good in transition in this game. They've gotten a lot of points off of this action. And Florida right there, just, they're not talking, they're not pointing, they don't match up. And if you don't get matched up against Missouri, they're going to have that thing coming out of the net within the first 4 or 5 seconds of their possession. Bates is a really good downhill guard.
Best defense against the run game is to make sure you put the ball in the basket.
Yep, too many turnovers by Florida. 10 already in this game. Robinson
step back. No, too strong. And off the miss, Clayton back on the floor. Into the paint fadeaway. He is absolutely feeling it right now. Clayton up to 14 points.
What do you do with this kid? You choke off his water and make him pick up that dribble around the logo, and he can still stick them on you.
Caleb Grill, 1 of 5 from the floor. Bates takes Condon. That's a pretty play for a lefty. A little full court pressure from Grill to try to slow things down.
Right, there's a point in this season that Todd Golden just told Clayton Jr., you're not playing hard enough, and you're not playing well enough, and he has responded beautifully, just like Mark Sears did for Bama.
Yeah, there's 17 points now for Clayton, 6 of 7 and 3 of 3 from 3.
He is having his way. He can dance with that ball into his own shot better than any guard in this league.
Got the Missouri fans thinking, how do we stop that guy? Bates got stuck in a terrible pass to Clayton, who finds his man, and boy, did he go up Will Richard to throw it down, and Gray would not have that.
Walter Clayton Jr. can do it all. You can't let him refuse a ball screen. That's what I'm talking about. Even when you get back and do a pretty good job of securing that ball, he still has a way to make a tough fadeaway too. There's not a guard in the country right now in middle of March playing with more confidence than this kid. Became a dad last year in mid-December, has really matured and grown up. Talking about Walter Clayton Jr. just
Leilani Clayton, born December 11th.
That was a heck of a game right there, and much less a heck of a half, right?
Exactly right. In a game that is rapidly paced, he's able to slow it down. We've seen a couple of very nifty offensive moves that stop and start, and then that little fadeaway on that last trip down, back up to 14. Robinson pushes Clapshar away, takes it, and makes it. Aggressive take there from Anthony Robinson II.
Yeah, just a sophomore, the only underclassman on this year's SEC all-defensive team. And he just knocks Clapshar just right off the path and continues to seek that rim. And Clapshar is a bulldog defender and awfully tough, but Anthony Robinson, I've really fallen in love with this kid's game. If he just stays out of foul trouble, Ravi, that's where he gets in trouble. So aggressive as a defender, cost him minutes on the floor.
Big leap year over year, though, Jimmy, to your point. Yeah. Up 5, his assists are up a couple. 6'3", 180 out of Tallahassee, Florida. They're about to hit the 1-minute mark of the first half. Florida's looking for their 50th point. Condon was wide open. Now they kick it. Clapshar keeps balance. And the big fella's going to launch. And that's in and out. Grill sets up. Oh, cannot buy one. Boy, and he's talking to himself.
Florida going to go 2 for 1 here.
Thought about it. They may get the reach on Robinson. Let's see what Jeff Hartness has. And it is against Anthony Robinson. That'll be his second of the first half. Jimmy, it is breakneck speed, isn't it? When they get that ball off and miss.
Well, this is the style that both teams love. And in the first matchup, Missouri went and won at Florida as an 83-82 game. I think it's important to bring back the fact that Todd Golden told us, and he told his team, it was the only game all year that we got out-competed. I'm not sure what he said to his team prior to this game in the locker room. I bet that was one of the last points that he made to his guys again, as hot as they've been to start this game.
Houck is the new Oxford, Pennsylvania kid. And his buddy there with hands on knees. Condon is out of Australia. A lot in common with the water.
Didn't they catch a tiger shark together?
Sure did
their first summer they were friends. Like an 8-foot-long tiger shark. Like that snake we saw in Gainesville that time walking into the arena.
Now why do you have to bring up a dark memory like that?
When we first saw the snake, it was a 4-footer, and by the end of the broadcast, it was 9 feet. I think that's the same thing as a tiger shark.
He's got a man underneath, so he throws it. I think he was looking to get it to him, but he threw it too hard. He had Pierce wide open.
Did he play quarterback in high school? Look at the arm strength on Robinson laying down.
Look at Pierce underneath the basket.
And that thing almost sails over the top of the backboard. It actually does. Well, you don't want to give up a 3 right now if you're Missouri, right?
Clayton. A rare miss for Walter Clayton Jr. this half. I'm not sure Todd Golden was tickled to death with that shot selection.
No, he is all in Walter Clayton Jr.'s ear, and he's going to get an earful as they go into the locker room at half.
They got 1.4 to get it off. That's Grill's range. No. Frustrating first half for Caleb Grill, who ends up going 1 of 7. Good first half for Florida. They shoot 63%, make 7 of 14 from 3. And the problem for them, turnovers. They had 10 of those in the first half. They still lead by 13. Clayton Jr. led the way with 17. Will Richard had 13. Todd Golden going to join Molly right now before he heads to the locker room.
Coach, I know you weren't happy with that last shot, but your offense playing really well in that first half. What'd you like?
Yeah, poor execution on that last play, but we're playing really well offensively with the exception of the turnovers. We're getting great shots. When we get shots, we've been very efficient, but we can't have 10 turnovers again in the second half.
Yeah, what will your message be in the locker room about those turnovers and avoiding mistakes in the second half?
Just got to play with a little more poise, play off 2 feet, be strong with the ball. 3 or 4 of them have turned into pick 6 dunks for them. If we limit those in the second half, we'll be in really good shape.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Ravi.
All right, Molly, thank you very much. 50-37. They had some pick sixes of their own, and they had some alley-oops of their own. A little bit of a dunk fest at one point in this game, but a good first half for the Gators. Now,
Yeah, well, Dennis Gates said that he was most encouraged by those 10 turnovers that they forced in the first half, but he wants more points off of those turnovers to take advantage of those scoring opportunities. And he said to get back into this game, we need to attack the basket, get to the free throw line, saying that is how we can get back into this game. It's all about the free throw line. Mizzou with 8 trips in that first half.
second half underway, and a big hole for Missouri to try to dig out of. And speaking of big holes, how about 50 points? Only one other team has done that in the last 25 years of this tournament, and it was A&M last year. Shows sort of a trend in offenses and the way that teams are playing different styles. As Pierce had that ball knocked out of his hands. Interesting. The guy that runs the Celtics, who's embraced all the analytics, Brad Stevens, is about 15 rows behind us. It's permeating all levels of basketball.
This is the place to be if you're tied to that NBA and you're looking at talent. This is the tournament to come to. How fast was Ford in the first half? 15 of their 37 possessions, the shot was taken 10 seconds or less.
Now think about that. Almost half their possessions, they got a shot off in 10 seconds or less. Amazing.
Alabama tracks the same thing. It'll be a very similar feel in our next game, Alabama and Kentucky.
Bates pulls up, no, follows, yes, off the window. And again, it makes shooting a shot in the first 10 a lot more difficult. And there's a steal on Clayton Jr. He tried to rip it right back, and that's going to be a foul, a mistake by Walter Clayton Jr.
Well, we know this about Missouri. They play with great urgency and speed themselves. And their DNA is all about turnovers and rip and runs. And Anthony Robinson, that all-league defender, and Walter Clayton Jr. just got lazy with it and careless with it. And Condon has to come in from behind to bring the harm.
First foul on Condon, free throw good. So they cut into this lead here in the first minute. And can get it within single digits.
Ravi Perkins, a big-time get by Dennis Gates in the portal. A 2-time All-Big Ten performer at Iowa. A solid 9-10 point guy off the bench, just still improving his numbers as this season continues to go on.
Yeah, Robinson being a pain again.
Yeah, he is.
I say Perkins is solid. His body, too, 6'4", 200 pounds. Down low, Chinyelu. He gets doubled by Gray from behind. That's a tough shot. Ruben Chinyelu continues to improve his offensive game.
What a great story he is. He came through that NBA Academy Africa, a native of Nigeria. And he actually lives for those low block battles that he just won.
Yeah.
That's his oxygen.
Perkins drives right at him and realizes I'm in trouble. He gets the bailout from Gray, and Chinyelu fouls him.
What I'm talking about with Chinyelu, though, he lives for these type of plays right here. He's a big man with a bigger motor, and he just forces his way through a pretty physical, strong double team with the basketball. And he gets low for a guy 6'10", Ravi. If you're going to slip through a double team, you've got to get low and strong. Really well done by Chinyelu.
Josh Gray goes to the stripe. He had 2 fouls in the first half. He took 2 free throws, made them both. Too strong.
One of my favorite visuals of this tournament, Josh Gray with 1 black sneaker and 1 white sneaker to combine him for his last name. He is a beautiful kid, man, with a great spirit, embraces his role. He probably leads the nation creating free throw violations because of little hits that he has.
Way off for that free throw, though, and it's knocked out of bounds, and it will stay with Missouri. That's an odd one. All the officials, she's trying to read my eyes. You know, which way is that ball going?
Yeah.
finally they kind of settled on, we'll keep it with Missouri.
About every other game when Josh Gray's at the free throw line, the opponent will step in and he'll get another one. Just that bringing up and hesitation works in his favor more times than not.
What do you think can get Caleb Grill going? Because he's had open shots too.
Well, shooters are going to shoot, and Caleb Grill is not bothered at all by misses. And had a great conversation with him about being raised by his parents. And he's probably in his head right now, Robbie, thinking, is my balance okay and is my arc okay on my shot? Those are the two things he knows can go wrong with his jump shot.
Yeah, 3 of 17 this week. Bates fade away, good, and a foul line. How good chance for 3.
How good is Tamar Bates? Right now he's a 50% from the field, 40% from the 3, and 90% from the free throw line. Those are incredible numbers. If that continues, he'll be the first at Missouri to have a 50, 40, 90 season. And Todd Golden does not like the start of this second half. Talking to himself, the defense is not alive and hot.
Bates knocks it down. Little life shown by the Tigers within 8.
I bet Dennis Gates challenged Robinson and said, hey, can you take Clayton out of the game in the second half? Because that's the one dude that's putting it on us.
Elijah Martin hard to the baseline. Reverse! Oh, what a play! Elijah Martin.
And the Gator chomp comes to life in Bridgestone. This is the guy that just plays right through contact. And a lot of it has to do, Ravi, with, he was a stud as a football player at Summit, Mississippi, North Pike High School as a quarterback, over 2,100 yards passing, 1,300 yards rushing, had Division I offers. What an athlete.
A terrific safety as well. Remember, I think he compared himself to both Bo Jackson and Deion Sanders.
Yeah, he's like, I can pass it over you or just run over you.
Bates will try it again. No. Chinulu had it, and he knocked it out of bounds. Shaw did. It'll be Florida basketball. Yeah, it feels like, Jimmy, every time they climb up a few steps on the ladder, then they slip back down, or Florida puts the pedal down a little bit further on the gas. Clayton just threw it to the bench.
Good pressure by Robinson, though. Dennis Gates is not going to switch Robinson off of Walter Clayton Jr. unless it's an emergency switch. He's going to trust that all-league defender to slow down Walter Clayton Jr. in this second half.
Teams watching around the country who see how impressive they are. Robinson sees a lane and throws it down. The turnovers are going to be something that these opponents are going to focus on. Say there's a vulnerability there.
Yeah, no doubt. And Missouri very disruptive. We've talked a lot about Florida, rightfully so in this game, but Missouri is a legitimate second weekend team as well.
House dribbles between his legs. They got 10 on the shot clock. High screen, Chinulu, they switch off. Richard gets it down low. Chinulu, that's such a clutch, difficult shot.
Just a pressure release pass that time from up top. And Chinulu, again, that's his oxygen, that offensive glass and the restricted arc touches where he gets his breath.
Perkins ran into the wall that is Chinulu. They keep it alive. Bates no good. Tipped up, no good. House got fouled. He is so strong. He's got a chance for 3.
It is ridiculous how deep and good that Florida front line is. I mean, Houck got that rebound, and he initiated the break Ravi with a couple of bounces. And once he gets the ball in the hands of Clayton, he runs a little bit of an interference for Walter Clayton to come down and kind of drive that highway traffic. And Houck right here, the spin move and the athleticism to take a hit and spin off of it and continue to get the ball high on the glass. Man, am I impressed with Thomas Houck. Dad was a linebacker at Florida. His granddad was a tight end at Memphis. His mom played college volleyball. He has grown up as a competitor, and you can see it.
And there they go again. Now back to a 14-point lead. That's the largest lead they've had tonight. Robinson challenged, no good. And they're going to keep it here. The big fella came back into the game, the 300-pounder Peyton Marshall, to rip down a rebound.
Well, Dennis Gate in calling plays as much as he's just letting his guys make plays. He wants his kids to play with instincts and not with a roadmap in their head of point A to point B to point C.
Warren, difficult shot. He's outplayed him tough on defense. Grill finally gets one to go from way outside.
He's too good a shooter, Ravi, to continue to have a 1-4 in this game.
Very physical defense against Clayton. Robinson picked him. That's another turnover and a 2-on-1. And a layup is good. Just like that, back within 9. Well, the turnovers continue to plague the Gators.
It's obvious that the message from Todd Golden at halftime, his guards, it did not sink in yet. They are being sped up by this Missouri team. And the turnovers are showing.
There's your release valve right there. Like a hand locked in on a good pass from Elijah Martin. He's going to go again. Grill too strong, but that's a 3-shot foul on Elijah Martin. And Todd Golden continues to be very frustrated, even with an 11-point lead.
Yeah, just a nice call play, though, by Todd Golden, because Handlockton set a little bit of a butt screen that Will Richard worked off of, and then he relocates to the front of the rim. 7-1, 7-1. He was almost one and done in this tournament, but Ortega Owe with a miracle shot to advance Kentucky to play against Alabama. Ravi, the energy in the second half, it's all in favor of the team in black. Missouri has missed 8 shots this half. They've gotten 7 offensive rebounds back. That is a big concern right now for Florida.
Yeah, and Todd Golden could feel it, Jimmy. You can feel the frustration seething from Golden in the second half, specifically when his team is on defense. He told his coaches, we're playing soft. They're splitting every ball screen. And in the huddle, he just said to his players, we're not executing and rebounding. They're beating us on every 50-50 rebound. We need to run our offense, make them chase us because they thrive on chaos. We need to be the ones to set the tone, and if we rebound and take care of the ball, we can win this game.
14 points down to 8. Handlocked to Clayton, who's been very quiet here in the second half. Out with 6 on the shot clock. The drive and a kick 3. Aberdeen. No. How about that rebound by Robinson in front of Handlockton?
Good ball pressure by Missouri to take away the high-low look that Florida was trying to get.
Perkins a little jumper, and it goes. 6-point game.
They are taking it right to what right now is the #1 seed, talking about Missouri.
And Walter Clayton coming up gimpy right now and limping back towards the Florida sideline. We'll check the replay to see where he aggravated and what he aggravated.
Yeah, guys, in the last timeout, just so you know, they're rubbing icy hot on his leg, and he told a trainer that he was cramping.
Yeah.
And now as he points to the back of his left thigh, you can see that cramps are an issue for Clayton Jr.
It's like a left hamstring issue for him as Martin has the ball. He drives. That's really strong. He's not going to be denied there.
Hand help only will not deter Martin from where he wants to go. You got to have full body gap help on that guy when he drives up.
Perkins finds the big fella and he throws it down. Peyton Marshall.
Boy, he has given them good minutes, right? All 7 foot, 300 pounds of Marshall in this game.
Modern day Marshall plan for Missouri. Hauk loose with that ball and he threw it away. Another turnover. 14 in the game for the Gators.
It's not Peyton Manning, it's Peyton Marshall from Missouri right here that just absolutely owns that backside of the rim. And a really good set of paws on this kid. He's going to be a player going forward and having a big impact right now in this one.
Momentum in favor of Missouri. Get a foul out there on the floor.
If you look at it, 16 fouls against Florida already in this second half.
And a cramping Walter Clayton's a problem.
Missouri lives at that free throw line, man. That's what they do to you. They turn you over, and they're terrific at getting to that line as they work on that hamstring of Walter Clayton Jr. But the other concern is right now Florida in foul trouble, and Missouri's going to be in that bonus with plenty of time left in this second half on the next one.
They sure are. Gator fans get a little antsy. This is as close as it's been since it was 28-24. Robinson deep in the paint, throws it up, soft touch. Down to 4.
That's a young kid that went right at Elijah Martin, the physical guard from Florida Atlantic. And MIZZOU has come to life.
Aberdeen being pressured right around the half-court line.
They're not running offense, they're running for their life, Florida, right now on this possession.
They kick it, Clapshaw wide open. That's too long and too strong. Handlocked in. And they're going to get the foul, and it looks like Condon's going to shoot. So they have basically 2 7-footers on the floor right now to try to take advantage of the height they have.
And because of that Florida, you can't turn the ball over. Just get a shot up right now in the second half and let the size of those 2 7-footers get on that offensive glass.
Yeah, the whistle came when it was Handlockton, not Condon. It was the initial shot, and Handlockton misses the free throw. Season debut was February 15th, coming off that leg injury. He is an offensive rebound machine, is Micah Handlockton. Last year at 108 of them. And Walter Clayton Jr. is making his way back into the arena. The cramping, obviously the conditions inside are fine. Is that just multiple days, and they haven't even played multiple days?
Yeah, exactly. That's just maybe not being as hydrated as you should be coming in. Maybe that hamstring was tweaked a little bit and he irritated it, but it's good news to see him back. And looks like he's ready to go again. He's still working on it.
Ward trying to fend off the defender. He did so, but that was really good effort by Richard, and they have numbers. Missouri's defense will speed you up. Right by Gray goes Aberdeen. He continues to work his way deep into the paint. And he does just what you said, just throw it up there.
Big time basketball by Aberdeen again. That was a highway drive. There's a lot of traffic. He let his big guy kind of lead him through the traffic and got him to the left side of the rim for the finish.
Can they free up Grill for a 3? Ward's got Chinuru on him, and he's trying to take the big fella, Perkins. They're going to get the whistle first. Timeout on the floor. We'll see if Condon's going to come back in for Florida. Missouri's made it tighter here in the second half. It's been them.
To be.
Yeah, guys, Gators guard Walter Clayton Jr. continues to massage his left hamstring as he deals with cramping. I'm told he's fine and will return. Todd Golden made sure to check on him in that last time out. And he also told his team to get into their bodies on ball screens, make them feel you on defense. And he reminded his team, don't pick them up so high. Back up on them so they can't get downhill once they cross half court.
Clayton is just burying liquids over there to try to get the hydration back up. Remember, he had 17 points in the first half. He has yet to have a field goal attempt in the second half. A really good fight back from Missouri, down by 5 with 11:20 to go. They have a height advantage. They kick it to a Clapshaw 3.
What a cut and a read by Clapshaw. And a double team down low, and the kick out was on time and on target.
So far, Jimmy, if Missouri is an exam, Florida has answers to every one of these test questions.
Good point, yeah.
Perkins trying to use his size against Aberdeen. Good ball fake by Robinson. Pretty play.
Well, he has played well, right? Big impact yesterday with only 5 points. We talked about all the other things that he does.
Oh, yeah, they're going to get Gray just a little too aggressive, Jimmy. And with no Mitchell, Gray cannot afford to pick up fouls. That's number 4 on him.
Missouri is undersized compared to Florida. So Florida's going to throw this thing inside, and that hard double team right there forces Klafschar to make that violent cut to the top of the key and stick it. We talked about Klafschar being a bulldog defender, but he shoots at a high clip as well, but a very good read and feel kicking that ball out from that low post.
Jimmy, that's just a frustrating foul. Gray at the half court, that's his 4th. So Marshall getting back in this game. Aberdeen drives all the way. He had it ripped away from him, and he had it ripped away again. There's a shot clock violation. Todd Golden wonders all that slapping and noise on here, and no foul was called. Good defense in the paint from Missouri.
And Missouri is, they've won the race to the bonus. With over 10 minutes to go, they will shoot free throws from here on out. And they are a downhill driving team that gets to the line a lot.
Creighton goes to the scorer's table along with 2 others. They get it down to Marshall, and he lost the ball. But they're going to get a call, and Golden's incensed. They say we just had contact like that down our end, and now they're calling the foul on the other end on Chinyelu. And that's his 4th.
That's a big call. There's initial contact by Chinyelu right here. And I guess that's what they call it. Maybe knocked the big fella off of his balance, but very physical league. But this league has called more fouls than any other league in the country. I don't think they're going to be punished in that NCAA tournament like some of the narrative is right now. They are just physical athletes, the most athletic league in the world behind the NBA.
No good. Condon, and they're going to get the hand reach there. Condon went up, and he was fouled as he came down with it by Tony Perkins. Quick reminder, up next, SEC Now. The whole crew will be there. They'll have a complete breakdown of our game. They'll have the highlights, analysis, interviews with the coaches and players. Winning team. Last night was an absolute zoo up there after Kentucky got that buzzer beater by Owe. He went up to the set. So did Mark Pope. And it felt like the entire building just surrounded the set to hear what they had to say.
Well, Mark Pope won this tournament as a player. He knows what it means to Big Blue Nation, the fans that come here. Well, he's playing all the right cards here in Nashville, and a massive game coming up next.
Game plan, send it to the corner for a 3, deflected out of bounds. That's off Missouri. It'll stay with Florida. Creighton Jr. is back on the floor, as is Houck. And you just saw Will Richard launch the 3. They have so many different lineups, and every one of them looks like it could be a starting lineup.
Florida? Yeah, no doubt. Missouri has forced that long pass out a couple of times on those baseline out of bounds under with that zone look.
Backdoor move, pretty play. Condon with the pass to Martin.
Condon and Houck are just a problem. They have so much attention on them, it frees up cutters. That time Martin, the recipient.
Marshall missed a free throw. They had a chance to get it to a 1-possession game, and now the lead's back up to 8. Bates in traffic, that's no good. Look out! Out came out of nowhere to grab it and got rid of it before he crashed to the ground. Alley-oop time! Richard finds Martin. Timeout on the floor.
They can just explode at the drop of a hat, talking about the Florida Gators. Again, their speed to push plays as good as you're going to find in college basketball. This time it's Will Richard with that speed to push, and Elijah Martin, his buddy, running the left side.
Coach's line.
Still an issue in this game for Florida. They are on pace to have 20 turnovers in this game.
Yep.
They had 10 at half. They have 5 more with 9 more to go.
Yeah, so 15 in the game.
Yeah, Missouri had a guy check into the game and then tried to check back out before the clock started, and you can't do it. I believe it's Perkins that's going to have to stay on the floor.
Marcus Allen has checked in. As they continue to go really, really deep into their bench. Again, I circled that Gray fourth foul. That's a big foul against Gray. Unnecessary at the mid-court line. This is Allen handling the ball. Great block there by Condon. He wants to go up again. It's loose. He will go up again, and he this time commits the foul. What an effort by Cruz and the Tigers on the glass.
Boy, do they fight, talking about Missouri. Now, Florida does as well, but it is hard to kill the will of this team from Missouri. Watched them too many times this year, dig themselves in a hole, continue to just play their backside off. And this is all about energy and effort and toughness, and a great job to use the left paw by Cruz to keep it away from the shot block of Condon.
Well, Dennis Gates was just talking to his team about this in the last timeout, reminding them to attack the lane, get into their bodies, continue to get to the free throw line. That's how they're battling back in this game. And the coaches asked the players, when we attack the paint, we got to play off of what? And every player answered, 2 feet.
Yeah, finds his buddy underneath. That's Condon. Up, no good, and a wedgie up there as Howe pinned it between the backboard and the rim.
Seldom do you see a wedgie with the ball halfway below the rim. Normally it's, you know, it's on top.
Yeah.
You're right, Howe came in and tried to flip it back up and just jammed it between the rim and the backboard.
A low wedgie.
A low wedgie. With all the wind outside today, if we were playing golf, we'd have to have a low wedge.
I know what you're saying there.
Yeah, low wedgies on the back nine.
Perkins has a kick. Cruz, he could use it. And instead, too strong.
With a good fill behind play, though, by Missouri. And Cruz just sprinted right to that fill. That fill slot did everything to get the shot to go down.
Walter Clayton Jr., a massive first half, began to cramp. That pass goes off the rim. A little too strong from Houck. And as clean and crisp as they were in the first half, especially to start, things a little creaky right now for the Gators. It's an 8-point lead with under 8 to go in the game. Doing anything, we'll certainly get the update on Butler's status.
And what a game that was. Kentucky completely melted down with that Oklahoma press and found a Oweh miracle, a great play to circle him and get him going downhill with his right hand.
Robinson, they want to get in the body. They did. They got Clayton, who says, I was hooked. But it's going to be Robinson who shoots a couple.
Ravi, simple is good, man. Simple is hard to cover in basketball. Dennis Gates doesn't come out of that timeout and 5 or 6 passes and 4 or 5 different cuts and moving the ball. No. Get it on an island, isolation. My guy's going to beat your guy. And that's what Robinson just did.
Into the body.
I love it.
Yeah. Robinson dealt with foul trouble last night. He's got 11 points on 5 of 7 shooting tonight. And the free throw is good. Again, this entire game has been about Florida jumping out to that massive lead. And as you heard Tamar Bates in the huddle, Jimmy, say, chip away, chip, chip, chip. They continue to do that. They just cannot get over that hump.
Walter Clayton Jr. over the last 14-22, no points, no field goal attempts. Another game within the game. And remember what Todd Golden told Molly at halftime? We can't have another 10 turnover half.
Yeah.
They're tracking it right now. 6 turnovers in this half, 16 for the game for Florida.
And Robinson's in the grill of Clayton, who takes it all the way. And there's a late whistle. And a foul, if that's on Gray, that's going to be his 5th, and he will be out of the game. And it is, and that's the end of the night for Josh Gray. And when you make the decision, as they did pregame, not to play Mark Mitchell because you're thinking long-term NCAA tournament, this is a big risk, and there is no reward tonight having Mitchell sit just for tonight because Gray's out of the game.
You can live with that foul on Josh Gray if that 4th foul around the timeline hadn't occurred. That's the one that's going to actually cost him to sit now this last 7:20. But Dennis Gates has gone as deep as he can in that bench in this game.
And, you know, with Clayton and Richard and the guards being neutralized in the second half, you wonder with Gray out, does he put Handlock and Condon on the floor at the same time? He's got Hauk and Condon out there now, but does he go big?
How small is Missouri right now?
Yeah, short.
You got 4 guards and then Cruz, who's a big guard. If you're Florida right now, are you going to play down to what Dennis Gates has on the floor? Or are you going to play up and make Dennis Gates pay for playing small? Those are the thoughts I think right now going through Todd Golden's mind.
Clayton makes the free throw, and there is his first point in about 15 minutes.
This is a lineup for Florida that should dominate the glass during this next stretch.
And what they brag on, too, is the ability of their bigs to guard out top. And that's going to be a challenge now for Hauk. They go inside, and Bates a spin move on Clayton for 2.
Walker Clayton just got whipped. That's the only way to describe it. And Tamar Bates was just quicker and more determined to get to that rim than Clayton was to choke him off.
The Tigers, can they get that key stop? It's down to 5. Hauk double team, finds his buddy Condon.
That's the payoff that Todd Golden says, fine, we're going to play big, and when we do, you're in trouble because your double team is too small to take away our pass.
Back to 7, back to Bates. Clayton reached in, and Bates had nowhere to go with it, and he traveled.
Condon and Hauk are roommates, and they just have a great feel for where they are on the court with one another. This is the inside pass, and Hauk delivers it right on the money for Condon right out in front of him so he doesn't have to reach. And a simple finish. Todd Golden sticking with his size against this small Missouri lineup.
Clayton finds Condon. What a catch. Martin touch pass. Hauk foul underneath. How about that quick touch pass? And Kondo may have gotten away with the push.
Was it Kondo that reached out or Hauk to save that ball from going out of bounds?
Condon.
It was Condon. Yeah. They call him Kondo, but man, when Florida starts moving that ball and they start cutting, that's when they are at their best. And a good hard cut by Martin, not to score, but to drop off the assist to Hauk.
Already in double figures, now with a dozen.
And it is Hauk, if you're watching this. I know it's spelled H-A-U-G-H, but it is pronounced Hauk. And we don't know why.
No, but we appreciate you helping out the people at home who are already on social saying, Jimmy, why do you keep calling him Hauk?
Hey, if that's the worst thing on social, directed towards me after this game,
yeah,
I won.
Yeah, I can promise you, it's not.
It won't be.
Grill being guarded closely by Richard. Robinson, but they are focused on getting Clayton down deep, and he came up short. Perkins, pretty play there to avoid Condon.
Dennis Gates is going right at Walker Clayton, too.
Yeah.
You can go back and watch film and realize if there's a little bit of a weakness defensively, it's this guy with the ball. He doesn't always fight at that championship level you have to be at in March.
Hauk is a really good ball handler for a guy his size. 7 on the shot clock for Richard. Guarded by Bates. Is this the stop they've been looking for? It may have been, and we're going to keep it here. Big whistle from Terry Oglesby. Cruz picks up the foul.
I think it was the effort and the energy again by Hauk. Not a better rebounder out of your area than Thomas Hauk, as he was being held and still made a massive effort to run down this ball.
That hand on his midsection.
Yeah, being grabbed and held, worked his way through it. In this league, if you can't break somebody's wrist, you're not going to get free, and Hauk is very good at it.
Also a very good free throw shooter as he knocks down another one, and he is 8 of 9 from the stripe. Number 2 Texas, number 3 Florida. Huge 3-game softball series. Jimmy, it starts tomorrow at 2 Eastern, 1 Central. It's right here on the SEC Network. Game 2 is Sunday at 1. Series finale under the lights. Monday night, 7 Eastern, 6 Central on the SEC Network. Combined, they are 53-3. Texas has won 15 in a row.
Have you ever tried to hit a legit softball pitcher?
I've hit a lot of non-legit softball pitchers,
But not a legitimate one, no. Not like Texas and Florida.
No.
No, it'd be by you before you saw it.
Base strong with the left, no tip, no, and a Houck rebound. Boy, 2 good chances at the iron.
Is it just me, or do Houck's rebounds look different than other people? I mean, he's violent when he goes for the ball when it's on the glass. High-low.
Yes, and it works beautifully to Condon, and he's there. Houck and Condon on the same page and in the same condominium as the lead grows back to 11, and the Gators call timeout. 83-72. Missouri cannot get over the hump.
Come on. What are you doing? Trying to watch the game, but my screen's busted.
You should go to T-Mobile. You can trade in a broken phone, and they'll give you a brand new iPhone 16 Pro on them. Where did you get gum?
It was under my seat. When's this thing over?
At T-Mobile, new and existing customers get iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us when you trade in your busted old phone. Plus, families can switch and save 20% versus the other big guys' best plans, plus streaming.
It's over.
I love the conviction of Todd Golden to say, if you're going to play small against us, Missouri, we're going to make you pay. They get to that high-low action between Houck and Condon. Todd Golden doesn't size down. He's stuck with his big lineup, and right now Missouri has no answer for that inside game. Man, that is coaching not with analytics, but with gutalytics. Really well done by Todd Golden.
Yeah, no doubt, that's not an easy pass for Houck to make, and he certainly has the touch there. But again, no Mark Mitchell tonight. A reminder, that was the decision made. He's that 6'9", 230-pound Duke transfer. He was warming up. They just made the decision. We'd rather have him healthy for the NCAA tournament. And when Josh Gray fouled out, it seemed to change everything about the attack mode for Florida. Perkins deep in the paint. They've missed a handful at the rim, man.
Mark Mitchell, coming into this tournament, was averaging 20 points over his past 8 games. He had 31 in the win over Alabama. That's a big loss for Missouri in this game.
Houck will say, I'll shoot it. A little off. Look who's there for the rebound. Condon, an easy 2.
Again, punishing Missouri for playing small. It's not just the high-low action, but then you just get punked at the rim. Man, Florida can just push the gas pedal down when they want to, can they not?
Yeah, and Grill. Ooh, man, that's a logo 3.
In your grill. That's how he shoots it.
Since Gray fouled out, they had been outscored 10-4, and that may be Houck. And Cruz looks like he's going to get called. They were all over each other.
Well, when you get mismatched, it pays off in a couple of different ways. One of them is right here. Grill at 6'5" and a fighter, but he can't keep 6'11" off. Stay stuck with the first foul call.
Houck's having a really big game tonight. Actually, 16 point. His free throw shooting has been spectacular. He's 10 of 11. They're 18 of 22 from the stripe. Missouri 15 of 22. So the free throw shots identical. Too strong there, and Condon is able to rip it away. And they will get another 20. Martin, splash.
Now, what are you going to do, huh? What are you going to do when you've got 3 different guards that just sit behind that three-point line waiting for those reload threes?
Grill, no, that's no good, and now it's starting to slip away from Missouri with 3 minutes to go. Elijah Martin has got a dozen this half, and it's been the work on the offensive glass by Houck and Condon, and particular in the paint, been the difference in this one. Baseline noise.
Oh,
It's Will Richard who saw the lane and took advantage of it. Largest lead of the night, and they salt this one away.
He has really grown this year instead of just always shooting threes in the corner. He's making plays out of that corner. Will Richard is all of 6'5" and very physical himself, and you crowd him in that corner, you can't take his game away anymore. And Caleb Grill just not a good defensive closeout at all. Gets that right foot up high and just kind of waves at the ball, and Will Richard attacks that angle with ease.
At the line with 2 shots is Toby Perkins. Perkins may have had to go walk off with a pain issue. He come back on, but he was almost underneath the tunnel over there. A 16-5 run, Jimmy, has given the Florida Gators this very comfortable lead now with 2:28 to go.
If you're going to beat Florida, you have to be talented, you have to have a chip on your shoulder, and you have to play really, really well. I think it's a short list of teams out there that can check all 3 of those that you have to have against this Gator squad this year.
Well, Houck plays a lot bigger than his actual size. Condon is a 7-footer, and Hanlockton is over 7 feet. This is just a case of they just don't have the size or muscle to bounce the Gators down. No, they don't have it.
And even Todd Golden does the "you're too small for us." I mean, Todd Golden again, just as soon as Missouri went small, his eyes lit up and said, "We've got this basketball game in our back pocket." Heck of a year, right, Ravi, for Missouri to go for 0-18 last year, and now solidly in that NCAA tournament.
That didn't go as well as Richard would have hoped. He would have liked to see that thing above the rim. But yeah, for Dennis Gates, this was a massive step forward off a year in which they didn't win a game in conference. And they're going to be trouble, Jimmy, for a team in the NCAA tournament. They are so unique in their style, and they will have Mitchell back.
It goes back to the fact that Missouri is such a hard scout. And obviously teams in this league have some familiarity with what it takes to beat Missouri, but they can shell shock you. Yeah. They can jar you the first 5 or 6 minutes of a game if you haven't played against that type of style. They've had a terrific year. They're just up against a team right now that I think Florida's the best team in college basketball. They may not win this tournament because the SEC is loaded. Right now, in my eyes, Florida's the team to beat in that March Madness.
They have the most unique parts, and again, when you have the height and size they do, and Gray fouls out, since he's fouled out, they've been outscored 23-9. Like, the game changed so much when the big fella left. We got one more game, and if Alabama can win it, the top 4 seeds will all advance to Saturday's semifinals, and then we'll see who plays in Sunday's championship. It is rare that those 4 teams, the top 4 seeds, are able to advance. If Alabama can take care of Kentucky, that will be the case.
And Ravi, it kind of feels like Tennessee took care of business earlier today. Alabama, Florida, those 3 teams, it seems like are in a battle for that 4th overall #1 seed, which Florida right now I think has a grip on it. And they're not going to let that thing go without a fight.
You know, and all 3 of those coaches, you know, they can cite different numbers and quad 1 wins and road wins against top 10, top 15 teams. They're all great cases. You're right. Florida currently has a few steps ahead of both Alabama and Tennessee.
When Florida went and won at Auburn, Auburn was ranked #1. Everyone in the country realized how good this team is. And Todd Golden knows it as well. That's why he has been on his guys to keep an edge, because you can lose your edge within a ball game. It's hard to recover going forward.
This game started, of course, with Walter Clayton Jr. exploding. Since then, I think Houck has been sort of the most impressive player on the floor, Jimmy. He's been the assist guy. He certainly scored his points. 16 of those. He's played 26 minutes of this game.
He's a scoring glue guy, is what Thomas Houck is.
there's another example of it. He kept that ball alive. They'll buy another 20 as we go under a minute.
You can't play harder than what Thomas Houck plays.
Good hands. He kicks. Richard 3. No good. And there is Condon. No. Looks like they're going to get Elijah Martin with the foul late here in this one.
Analytics. They tell us a lot of the story sometimes, and it pays off. Think about this. Missouri 17-0 this year when the opponents shoot fewer than 22 free throws. Florida today, 20 free throw attempts. How about that? Isn't it crazy how those numbers work out sometimes?
Just over the edge.
Yeah.
Well, the unique part about tonight's game, though, in a world in which teams live and die by the 3, they've taken 23 of them, but the game has been decided in the paint tonight. And certainly in the second half, the dominance inside the paint for the Gators was the difference.
It was, and the fact that Florida only allowed Missouri to shoot 16 threes. That's a low number for Missouri. But they just made the decision coming in, Florida did, that you're not going to beat us from 3. We're going to crowd you and press you up and make you do something in the 2-point part of the floor. And it worked out beautifully as Florida is going to advance to the semifinals tomorrow afternoon.
Team that averages about 85 points a game is now at 95. What should be the last possession of the game. Missouri will head back to Columbia and get set to watch the selection specials, find out where they're going, what region they're in, what bracket they're in, who they're going to play. And the Gators will hang here for another day. Clavshar steps through. And Aberdeen.
If it's a foul the first second of the game, it's a foul the last second of the game.
I'm looking around. I don't think most of the people in here agree with you. There's a lot of reelies and hands up. You think Big Blue Nation wants that foul called? They want their cats out here.
They sure do.
Alabama fans want to see a 15-point game? 0.6, we're blowing whistles.
There's a bunch of Kentucky fans here that literally, they work all year and they plan their vacation from work to come to the SEC tournament. These are folks that can't get in Rupp with a season ticket holders, so they do all they can to get in here to see their beloved Wildcats, and there will be a roar when they come into that tunnel to warm up.
Well, Missouri's happy. Sanchez got a free throw to go through, but in the end, it's Todd Golden's team with the 95-point effort and a dominant outing by the two guys, Alex Condon and Thomas Houck down low. Florida is a real threat to win the SEC tournament and the NCAA tournament. 20-10 run to close this one out, with Alabama and Kentucky on deck next. Amazing the versatility with Clayton and Richard scoring 35 points. And then on the other side, you had both Houck and Condon contributing 26 and 10 boards between them. Different styles of play, Jimmy, that we have seen in the SEC. Mostly speed and shooting, but man, they possess some problems for teams that are going to be challenged height-wise, given they didn't play hand-locked in but more than 11 minutes tonight.
Yeah, it's the versatility of Florida also we probably didn't talk enough about. I mean, they can play big or small on both ends of the floor, but the fact that Condon and Houck and Chinyalu can switch out and take on your point guard is a big, big deal in March when you're talking about ball screen defense.
Go ahead, Molly.
Thomas, they played small. You made them pay. How were you able to take advantage of those mismatches?
I just think it was a really good, I thought it was a really good game plan by our coaches. You know, we knew they were going to do that, and coming out, we know that Mitchell was hurt, so it helped us a lot that they played small, and our coaches had the right game plan for it at the end.
12 trips to the free throw line for you. That's a season high. I think it's a career high.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so how did that attack mentality pay off for you?
I don't know, just teammates put me in a good spot. You know, they gave me the ball, and then I just got fouled a little bit and knocked them down, so it's credit to my teammates for that.
You and Alex Condon play so well off of each other. How does your chemistry and your friendship kind of pay off on the floor?
Yeah, I mean, he's been my roommate since freshman year. You know, like we're best dudes, we're best buds. You know, we go to each other's house. I hope to go for a trip to Australia here soon, but you know, it just shows off when we go to the court.
Next up, a trip to the semis. Yeah. Why is this the team to beat in March?
You know, I just think we're really competitive. We have 3 elite guards. You know, any one of them can go off any game, and then we got bigs to back it up too.
All right, congrats on the win. See you tomorrow.
Go Gators.
He's right, man. He's put in his tickets. He wants to fly to Perth. He wants to be in Australia.
Would you move to Australia so I can come see you?
Of course I would. Let me arrange that in between these games. By the way, they're 11-1 when Haug scores 10 or more. Our final score, 95-81. Alabama, Kentucky coming up, but first, Dari, Pat, Slay, and Fish.
All righty, Rappy, thank you much. We'll kick it back your way in just a bit as Florida advances to a second straight SEC tournament semifinal. And, of course, you know they will play the winner of our next game, Kentucky and Alabama, as Big Blue Nation continues